be cooking a jerk chicken with mango avocado salsa and some cilantro lime rice on the side. Usually I start the rice first when I cook this meal, but I want to take just maybe a minute or two to kind of go through all the spices that I used yesterday and put the chicken in to marinate overnight. So first we're going to make the marinade. I usually marinate the chicken overnight in the sauce that we're about to make together with the spices and the liquids and the lime juice. If you can't marinate it overnight, or if you forget, and I sometimes frequently forget, you can kind of marinate it a little bit ahead of time, maybe a couple of hours, maybe in the morning when you first get up if you forget. But what I did is I just got a small mixing cup. I put 2 to 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. I like coconut oil better than the other ones just for the marinade. It seems to give it such a sweeter flavor when it comes out, and so I really like that. And then I put 4 tablespoons of lime juice in here to kind of give it that little citrusy flavor. And then I added the thyme, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. I had to think there for a second. And the ginger, the recipe, a little bit of minced garlic. I have on my original recipe that it's 3 garlic cloves, and over the last several years I've kind of equated that to maybe 2 teaspoons. So 3 garlic cloves would be 2 teaspoons if you're buying pre-minced garlic. And I do have some in the fridge, and I actually like the flavor. It's actually minced garlic and olive oil, and I think it works really well. So once I'm ready to actually get started with the meal, the first thing I'll do is put on the rice. Since I use the brown rice, it takes about 45-47 minutes to cook. I usually put that on first. Just follow the directions. I usually use 1 cup of rice and 1 3/4 cup water, but whatever you've found that works great for you, or try that and see and just kind of test it about 3/4 of the way through. Once we get the water and the rice on, we will turn to high and let that start boiling. Then we will go ahead and start to preheat the oven to 400 degrees so we can put the chicken in. Once you get the rice on, you can go ahead and get the chicken to put in the pan. This is my chicken that I've been marinating all night. I usually put them in Ziploc bags. I don't know why. I just like doing that better than any bowl or anything else. I just pour everything in the bag out onto the pan that I'm going to cook it on. Throw the remnants in the garbage can. And then if I'm cooking it in a pan with aluminum foil, I will just kind of loosely tie in the top of the aluminum foil to kind of make a tent over it. At 400 degrees, I will probably cook this for about 30 to 34 minutes. And just kind of see. I'll check it at 30, see where it is. If it looks done, then I'll take it out. If it needs a few more minutes, then I'll put it back in. But I'm probably just going to go ahead and pop it in the oven now for 30, and then we'll see where it is. So the next thing is, while the rice is cooking and the chicken is cooking in the oven, I like to make the mango avocado salsa. I use 2 avocados because I like a lot of avocado flavoring. You can buy mango chunks, you can buy whole mangoes and chop them up to the size you want. You can buy frozen mangoes, whatever works well for you works. I actually got the mango chunks pre-cut this time. They're kind of larger chunks, but I'm going to cut them down a little bit as we make the salsa. And then the only other thing I really like to add to it, other than what the recipe calls for, the avocados, the mangoes, the lime juice, is I really like to add maybe just a little bit of an onion in there. I think it adds just a little bit of flavor. It makes it a little bit more like pico. So as you chop up the onions, I would suggest maybe 1/2 inch in pieces, something small, something you'd be comfortable eating. When you think about salsa, really. Then I just kind of drop it in the bowl. And as I chop up the rest of the avocado, I will just throw it in there. Then I will add the 1 tablespoon of lime juice. And I will just add the chopped mangoes. If you would like to make them smaller, you can do that. I think I might just for this dish. I think that it's going to work better with the chicken if they're in really small chunks. But once you get all these things in, you can just kind of mix them together and wait till the chicken gets out of the oven and the rice is getting close to done. So while the rice is cooking and the chicken is cooking in the oven, I usually chop up all the avocado, the mango, the lime juice, put it all together to make my salsa. While that's happening, since we've got about 20 minutes left, we've got plenty of time. I like to put usually 1 to 2 avocados in there because I really like a lot of avocado. For the mangoes, you can buy fresh if they're in season. They're easy to get. I've used frozen at some point. I've used just fresh. I have used the pre-cut ones that you can get in the grocery store. So whatever you have available would be great. And whatever, you know, is easy to get because it's kind of hard. The mango salsa is really kind of a seasonal dish. But we're still able to get some of it. The one thing that I like to add to the salsa is onion. Doesn't call for that in the recipe, but I like to chop up maybe half of a white onion and put it in there to make it a little thicker, a little more robust. And then once we mix all that up and put the cilantro in there, we're going to see how much more lime juice we need to add. So once the rice is done and we have the chicken out of the oven, we can go ahead and kind of start to construct the bowls that I usually put this in for dinner. The salsa, which I love, is about consistency of maybe guacamole, not really salsa. Since it's got more avocado, onion, and fruit in there, it's a little bit different. So I usually just put the rice together and I'll put a little bit of lime juice on it to give it a little bit of citrus flavor and stir it in. Give it maybe 2 to 3 minutes to set and then I will put it in the bowl. So we start by putting the rice in the bowl. I usually put maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inch layer of rice on the bottom. Then I will put the chicken on top. It depends if you want to slice it up. That may help depending on kind of what your needs are. And then right before I serve it, I will put the mango salsa on there. It doesn't have a lot of tomatoes, and I think that's kind of deceptive a little bit, but it's got all the guacamole in there like a guacamole salsa. And I will just dump that on top of that for a little extra flavor. I think it turns out such a good dish.